I love that. Woohoo! All right, here we are. It is day 4. Oh my goodness, day 4. Welcome to day 4 of the 5-day event. I am so happy to have you here, whether you're here live, you're watching the replay, you're watching it on the archive page. I am so very happy. Just want to do that little bit of housekeeping as people are hopping on, which I hope that we have some hopping on live here with us. If you didn't receive an email, I know I just had more women sign up from day 3 to day 4. If you did not receive an email for whatever reason, just email support@healthcoachforlife.com. And remember, all the daily emails, all of the videos, these lives, the recordings, any attachments are all available on the archive page that's linked in your daily email. So if you happen to miss something, then everything's there. Hi, Christine. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. And I'm glad that those reminders are helpful. I know, like I said on there, like they're so helpful for me too. I need reminders for just about everything. If you happen to hop on and you're part of our group here, this private community, but you are just happen to be catching day 4 and you're like, what's going on? Where's days 1, 2, 3? Like, I want to get all the goods. You can still join. I did put the link again in the description. I'll grab it here one more time. This is the last day to join the event, to have access to the archive, and the archive is available until March 16th. That is next Wednesday. That's a week from today. So you can go back, you can watch the lives again, you can read through the information, download any of the printables. So even if you just join on day 4, you have access to everything we've done each of the days. So go ahead and like I said, every day I go on each morning to go make sure that the recorded video is on the archive page, and there's more women. So I'm just so excited. If you're catching the replay, just type the word replay in the comments. I know right now, locally where I live, there's some spring breaks. I know people have so much going on, with kids stuff and busy lives. I've actually heard from several women already. They're like, listen, I'm not there, but I'm catching all of the replays. I'm watching everything on the archive page. So I just want to give a huge shout out to you because you're still showing up. I know, like, being here live, I know it's fun and I love being able to interact with you, but I also understand, you have all these things going on. So way to go for showing up live, showing up on the archive. You are amazing. I did send out an email today, and I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity at all to kind of take advantage of that time out to sit with your feelings. I know that as you're learning to cope without using food, an opportunity is going to present itself in the future. So maybe it didn't today, but surely it will. It will definitely present itself in the future. So I want to add on to that process of that kind of that time out and sitting with our feelings. So that's what I want to do here for a few minutes tonight. First, I'm going to take a sip of water. Allergies out here it's crazy. I saw some of the East Coast was getting snow again. Some of my friends in the Montana area that are part of this, like there's snow there. We don't have snow, so everything is blooming and alive, and the allergies are just on fire right here in March. It's pretty common. We could use some rain. But by the end of the day, my eyes are itchy and I'm like, oh my gosh, like everything. So I got my water here. But like I said, I wanted to add on to that process that I shared. And when we look at what we're feeling, I just want to remind you that on Day one, I gave you that handout for our top emotions. This is a great place to have that back for you. I like having language. I like to be able to really be crystal clear and identify, what I'm feeling. So if you want to use that when you're working through sitting with your feeling, I think it's a great resource to have. So we want to fulfill our needs without turning to food, right? That's really why we're here, right? That's why we're pressing into this work. So I want to give you some ideas that you can put into practice. So oftentimes I find when we're starting, taking kind of just a time out and asking ourselves, what do I need? There are other areas of our life that need attention. So I'm going to share the top 4 that I experience in the work that I do with my clients, but you may find that there's others that come up for you. There's no right or wrong here. There's no, set. There's only 4. There could be others, but I'm really just wanted to, fit it into this time, and just so I limit it to the top 4. So the first one is when you're asking this, what do I need? What do I need? Maybe you need connection. So you might have to speak up and ask for what you need in this area when it comes to connection. So I had a client a while back now, who was working with me, and she was, I would say, genuinely surprised that this is what kept coming up for her. So she decided to start asking her spouse for like snuggling on the couch at night, for more hugs, when they saw each other during the day. For you, if the answer is connection, it could be you want more time with friends and maybe more time with family, that quality time. Especially I think about the last couple of years and how that for a lot of people was really limited, really restricted, and now that you have the ability to spend that time, and you feel better about going out and doing those things, you might notice like the need for connection is really, really strong in you. I actually believe as human beings, it is a high priority need for us. We want connection and belonging. When I was in college, I studied psychology, and this was talked about a lot. Just the human need for connection. It's actually very, very strong in all of us. It looks different for each of us, but if that comes up for you, just exploring like, if I need connection, what does that look like? Like I said, for my client, she really wanted to snuggle on the couch at the end of the day. They were watching TV, and she's like, I want affection. For her, connection was affection. So the second response, so connection might be something you connect with, might be like, what, I've been really feeling that, and I'm going to speak up and start asking for it, make the plans, do all the things. But if that's not something that comes up for you, maybe that need in your life is really fulfilled. The second response I hear is women who need nurturing. So this for you could be art. I know that came up the other day, doing some art. Christine, I think you mentioned that. Outdoor activities, a nap. Gosh, I'm just going to raise my hand. Or even journaling, which I know has come up in this 5-day event as well. This one for me, and like you already saw me, I raised my hand as I like have to tell you, like nap. Yes, this is like the one I relate to so much. So when I started walking this out, when I really was first pressing into intuitive eating and working through emotional eating, what I noticed that came up most often was needing to feel nurtured. And actually, I felt most nurtured with rest. Now, rest is not something that comes easy to me ever. It never has. I cannot remember a time in the entirety of my life, not even just my adult life, where, rest came with ease like it does now. It took time to feel that kind of like welcoming invitation of it. But now, if I don't honor this, if I ignore that need, ooh, I can really feel the difference if I don't honor the need for rest. And rest doesn't always mean a nap or sleeping. It just means doing nothing. I actually, it's like it fills my cup back up. Um, you might want to, if you're here live or you're watching the replay, if you notice like you have that need to feel nurtured, you can just share something in the comments that helps you feel nurtured. Like I said, it could be art, it could be being outside, it could be journaling. Maybe there is just something with music as well. Might make you feel nurtured. I always feel like what gives you that feeling of safety, kind of like a self hug. That's how I look at nurturing. And again, this one for me is my most relatable. Um, so that's the first one, second one, and now the third. When we're asking this question, when I'm sitting with my feelings and I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling disconnected, or maybe I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling bored, I'm feeling I don't know, maybe I'm feeling happy, maybe I'm feeling content, but I'm just noticing it. The third is actually when I ask, what do I need? It could be actually desiring pleasure and enjoyment. That could be going to a movie, going to the theater to see a play. Um, you might have these aha moments of why emotional eating has felt a lot heavier, a lot more present in your life these past couple of years. If this was limited as well, right? If again, I feel the connection part could have been limited, especially, a year ago, or maybe even more recently for you, or maybe that's still going on, right? But also that pleasure and enjoyment, right? Especially if you find pleasure and enjoyment from going out and doing things. If that was limited as well, I always say this is why this event was needed. This is why I'm hearing from so many women like, oh, I'm an emotional eater. I'm really struggling, with emotional eating and boredom eating. We covered yesterday, which has felt really strong for women. But also, I think this component, and I believe these last couple of years have just really brought it all up to the surface, really made us see like, wow, this is really happening for me because maybe I'm missing these things. So even asking yourself, all right, so if I'm, for whatever I'm feeling, if I'm really desiring entertainment, enjoyment, pleasure, what is going to give me that? Where can I fill that need right now? Whenever that comes up for me, usually I'm wanting some type of laughter. I love stand-up comedy. There's a few I really like. If you have, I think on Amazon Prime, Sebastian. Oh my gosh, saw him in person. Very funny. Very, very funny. I need laughter. Like for me, that is everything. That is everything to me is laughter. It's probably why I like sitcoms so much as well. Um, Last one. So I said I would give you the top four. Lastly, you actually may find you need alone time. So I was talking to a client the other day, and she said that this is a high need for her right now. She and her significant other are both working from home. She's not getting this need fulfilled as often as she desires. When she was identifying how to sit with that emotions and feeling really frustrated. Okay. So what did she need? She's like, I just need some space and time to myself. Like it just kind of came out like, woo, okay, yes. So we talked about ways she could implement this and even communicate it to her partner. If you're here or you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments. Do you like more or less alone time? I'm really curious. I know, when my kids were really, really little, alone time was like, I don't know, a slice of heaven. Like it felt so good. Like, just give me more. It's all I wanted. And now the desire is not as strong for me. I know for sure when my husband was working from home for almost, I think it was all of 2020, pretty much, he worked at home. Um, I was frustrated. I would find myself struggling with anger. I would like lose my mind. And again, all right, I need to sit with this. Like, what is it I need? I needed alone time. I had to figure out how to still have time for just me. Couldn't really do anything, couldn't go anywhere. My office space was taken over. Like, how can I get this? So, again, I feel like that's something really relatable in certain seasons I've gone through. You might be like, heck no, I don't want any alone time. I want actually the connection part, right? I need to be nurtured or I want enjoyment. And I find that in other people, right? That might not be what you need right now, but that might come up for you. So these are the top 4 that I hear. Again, there are others, but the top 4: connection, nurturing, pleasure and enjoyment, and alone time. So remember, the 2 keys here are asking, what am I feeling? And remember, I gave you that handout from day 1, and maybe it's easier just to have something to look at to identify the specific, feeling, the emotion that you're having. That was that top 7 with the subcategories under it. And then ask, what do I really need? Now, lastly, I want to just take a moment to talk about building your emotional muscles. All right. So I just want to take a quick transition to that. Christine says, I don't like too much alone time. I think I eat more when I'm alone. Oh, there's some unpacking there. Oh, that really is. Oh, that's getting my brain going. I wonder if that is part of that boredom. And also, I wonder if the need is that connection or to be with people, right? To have that enjoyment with others, that those are the needs that you really are looking to have filled. That's really something really, I think, interesting to explore, Christine. Thanks for sharing that. So let's talk about building those emotional muscles. So if you walk through this process that we're talking about, right, and the desire to eat still feels overwhelming and you choose to eat, do just that. And please, we're going to make a promise right here, do it without judgment. Eating after that time out, that break that you need, that sitting with your feelings, acknowledging it, that's not a setback. That's not a failure of any kind. Remember, we already established there is no pass fail in this work. Taking that time out is actually a step forward, and eating after the time out is just an opportunity to learn. I want to go back to something really quickly that I said yesterday. You might be hungry. I never, ever discount that you might actually be hungry. I want you to remember, you also have been going maybe immediately to food to cope. And even if it's just for 5 minutes, like we talked about in the email today, right? You're sitting with those uncomfortable feelings. That's a big win. Heck, if you sit with uncomfortable feelings for 30 seconds, for a minute, for 2 minutes, whatever you're sitting, that's longer than the immediate reaction to grab something, right? Like that is huge. Just to sit. I think it's really hard to sit with uncomfortable feelings at first. Nobody's like, please, let's just wake up and say, I'd really like to experience, my anxiety today. I'd really like to experience being really ticked off and frustrated and really sit with that. Nobody's wanting to do that, right? But as you continue to do this exercise, those emotional muscles will grow. You actually will be able to start sitting with those feelings longer. And eventually you find you don't need to turn to food to cope. And I'm going to put another asterisk one more time to say, if you still eat after, there's no judgment. Even if you feel like, wow, I've made this all progress. And then I feel like I used food to cope. Without judgment, it's a learning opportunity. And I feel like that's a double asterisk. What if you're hungry? Go back to the other work we've talked about and assess your actual honoring of hunger throughout the day. I feel like it's important to say that along with all of this, I know how difficult this process can be. I've personally been there, done that. It's okay to decide, I really don't want to do it alone. Like I'd rather actually have someone walking me through this, have someone encouraging me, have some added support. You can let me know in the comments here, or if you're watching the replay, if you like having that cheerleader in your life. I think it's hard if we're always our own cheerleader. I think it's great if we can be our own cheerleader. But who likes to have someone also being your own personal cheerleader for you on the times when you can't? Coping with your feelings without using food is principle 7 of intuitive eating. And you've probably heard it here several times, right? Like it's something I work with each client on, to the degree in which they need it. Everybody shows up differently to that. It's really actually the beauty of intuitive eating is it is completely about you. It is personalized, right? To help you remove food guilt, to feel like a normal eater. Yes, there are guidelines, and I love that. They're principles, but I love the word guidelines. But it's so that it can make it really personal, because you have your own story, you have your own journey with food, you have your own struggles with emotional eating, boredom eating. And tomorrow we're going to talk about cravings. Like you have your own story. So before I sign off on this video, I want to let you know I actually opened up 4 days on my calendar to meet with you, to talk about helping you cope without using food, talk about removing food guilt, to feel like a normal eater. I opened up time Thursday, March 10th, Friday, March 11th, Monday the 14th, and Tuesday the 15th. Like I said, the archive will close the night of the 16th. I opened up these days, the 10th, 11th, so that's starting tomorrow, 14th and 15th for free consultations. So I'm going to put the link in the comments for anyone who's like, yep, I'm done trying to do it on my own. I'm going to throw that there for you. It takes you to my app. There you go. It should be up by now. Thank you, Christine. I see your comment there. So if you happen to hop on there, you want to grab one of those spots because you do want to have that added support. You want to actually work through all of intuitive eating. We've really been, of course, honing in on and paying attention to coping without using food, which is principle 7. But you also want to dive into, I've talked about hunger a lot, and you're like, I'm not honoring my hunger. I actually don't know. I've talked about pleasure, and the idea of pleasure, especially pleasure in food, might feel foreign to you right now. We haven't really touched on, movement or satisfaction or fullness or any of those other things. And you are like, I'm done trying to do it on my own. I have a lot of clients who are like, okay, so I've read the book, but implementing is harder. I totally get it. I was there as well. If you can't find a time that works for you, don't hesitate to send me an email at jennifer@healthcoachforlife.com and let me know. But that's what I have for you today on sitting with our feelings and that timeout, how to walk through that process, building those emotional muscles, and also just encouraging you that you don't have to keep doing this alone. You don't have to feel like, I'm walking this uphill battle and I just need someone, next to me going, you've got this, you've got this. I will remind you, day 5. So tomorrow's our last day, and it is jam-packed still of good stuff. I'm not letting you this go. We are going to show up on day 5 just as strong as we have each of the other days, because we're going to talk about cravings. It was requested in the private community, and so we are going there for day 5. I'm so excited. I have an email for you tomorrow morning, and I will be here tomorrow night, same time, to talk about those cravings. I am really excited. All right. I hope you all have a good rest of your night, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.